Chokes are one of the most important fundamentals you need to learn in your martial arts training. It's not just enough to strike, it's not just enough to take down. If you can end the fight with a choke, you should. They're fun, they're dangerous, and today we're going to talk about the most ubiquitous choke in the world, the rear naked choke. Once again, I have David Heineman from Stay Safe Martial Arts with me, here today to show me how to do the rear naked choke.
The basic concept I feel like of like what a lot of people visualize the choke is like a reverse triangle. So one arm comes across the throat, lock in on the elbow, palm to the back of the head, ear to the back of the head, and we squeeze everything together. Like this is your basic rear naked choke. Obviously, there are tons of variations. If we're talking from like self-defense, which we can touch on a little bit later, like some altercations to it, but from like a sport perspective, that's like the simplicity of like a rear naked choke. If you're in MMA, like you can get up into like where we're clinching and stuff like this. It's difficult to get, like you can practice the techniques of, okay, you're gonna throw a punch and I'm gonna do all this and magic land behind it. A lot harder to do. So if we're talking MMA, like we're gonna get to where we're working on clinch. So at this point, I would assume we're up against some form of like a cage or a wall, right? And again, obviously, I would love to finish this choke on the ground with hooks in, on the back. That's the ideal position, but we can still get it from standing. So from here, I would start working, clearing this arm down, take my other hand, I can now feed to an arm drag, and as I feed around, like now we get here, and again, if we're still ideally like up against a cage, obviously we're gonna be back here, but now I can start working just to try and finish some variation of a rear choke while we're up against a cage. So like you can use an arm drag to get to the back and then instantly start feeding into arm drags from there. When it comes to sport, and I emphasize this with all the guys I train with, all our teammates, we have like the idea of an anaconda, where when it wraps up its prey, it's a slow and steady choke, because I want to wear this person out. If I'm in his shoes and he feels me rip this choke and start squeezing, and he's got just enough grip, this is like your key detail to defend it, by the way, but if he's got just enough pressure and he just feels me squeezing, he just has to wait till I gas out, because I can't hold a full strength like this nonstop. However, if I get here and like this is, we call it like the catch. So like if I get into this position, like my grip's locked, everything's tight, but I'm not squeezing yet. So he can feel that the grip's tight, and then as it slowly just starts getting tighter and tighter and tighter, it's a slow and steady choke. So now he's on the reverse side where he has to like pull this down as hard as he possibly can, because I'm just slowly making it tighter and tighter and tighter, and then you switch up to one of the variations. When it comes to like street strangulation, and again, I do a lot with sexual and domestic violence, you're not gonna see someone get in here and then slow and steady. It's gonna be, I'm gonna grab and I'm gonna rip, and I'm ripping you down to the ground and either beating you or I'm strangling you. Obviously if we're literally talking like I've got a cord or something I'm strangling, like there's obviously that, but if we're talking like domestic,
getting killed by an assassin.
If we're talking like, hey, we're having an argument, you turn and walk away from me, and then I just grab you and I just start doing this, like that's a strangulation. It's full throttle choke. Now the difference when it comes to defending that and defending sport is you're fighting for your life. And so things kind of kick in differently. And so yes, I might be squeezing as hard as I can, but you're not thinking about that. You just know that someone all of a sudden just jerked you on the neck, is ripping your neck back, ripping your head back, knocking you off balance. They're squeezing you, so your focus on like the minor details gets slim. In a sport, someone gets on my back, I'm not I'll be more frantic trying to get out of that position than I am actually trying to defend it.
That's where you want to be. Like that's the game.
Yeah, that's where. Yeah, so I know like, okay, I'm comfortable like defending now. Like my scramble is, okay, I need to get this hook off because I know what he's going to start working, and that's what. It's just a different way of how you would view rear naked choke versus a strangulation. It's really just context. Same defense, same principles apply to an extent. I still have to get my grips in. I still have to shrug my shoulders. Like if all of a sudden this person snaps on, like this is still my initial defense. Not necessarily, and again, don't just assume because I tuck the chin that it's gonna completely eliminate the choke, because there are alternatives for that, but it is a good start. This is the biggest thing. And if we're talking self-defense, don't sit here. If he's got this on, like for me to sit here, now if I feel his hand anywhere like up here, or like it's not fully back, which this is where it should be, but if I feel it up here, like sure, I can pull this down and start working. But again, in reality, like this, trying to get my fingertips in, and if I need to, I can start up here and slide down, and now I'm just kind of holding on, and now I kind of want to just start working off, and essentially like a rear naked choke is a bad position. headlock is a better position to be in rather than complete. So I would rather work to get here, because now from here I can at least breathe, and now I can maybe start balancing myself, getting myself grounded, and I can work out of there. So there's a lot of BS for when it comes to defending rear naked chokes from a street perspective. Sport, we answer the phone, we tuck our chins, or we shrug our shoulders, we tuck our chins, start fighting down the hands. Again, if we're talking like on the back, like if I get it here, if I start trapping this arm here, like I might shrug this, and then again for sport, I might, again, picture we're on the ground, but I might duck and get like the arm here. Now, as I'm doing this and I just hold on, you can't choke me anymore, but now I can start working my hips free. And then again in sport, I can come up and mount, come up in side control. You're not doing that on the street though. Street, it's strictly this, just to a point where I can get to, like say, you know, even if you still got a good grip, just to the point where I can throw something, but I have to maintain grips. I don't want to see people that just start flailing their arms, or they get here and they just start striking. Like, if you're behind me and you're really choking me, it's very difficult for me to get my hips off. This has to be the first motion. Use your abs, crunch down, get a nice tight grip. Now from here I can start dealing with whatever else I need to do, but this is the focus. And that's like the biggest thing that I think people misconstrue is, okay, I got a rear naked choke, I got times to poke you, I got times to rip fingers, I got time. You're talking seconds.
What I want to do is just see how much time I have to go from here to I can't talk. So we're gonna play a little game, if you want.
I like it.
Put me in the seatbelt. Start working it up. Start working it up, and just whenever you feel, go full pressure. When I stop talking, game's done. Okay. So there's one time I was on a road trip. I found this abandoned house, and I saw a graveyard in there, and that's it. That's it. Couldn't even finish my joke.
Yeah.
Look at that. Let's do it again. I'm gonna try and tense up a little bit, right? Try and start pulling it, okay? Right here. So, I saw this coffin inside. It got up, it started chasing me. I decided, you know what? I want to put a stop to this, and then pull the cough drop out, threw it at the cough drop. God damn it, fucked it up. The whole story. Coffin started chasing me. I got scared. Pulled the cough drop out of my pocket, threw it, stopped the coffin.
People need to understand that in real situations, if someone locks a choke on you, you don't have time to dilly-dally with BS. Control the choke. Anytime someone, doesn't matter if it's here, from the side, round, whatever. If someone has hands on or around your neck, that is your focus initially, is get control. Then from there, we can start, again, chipping away at their armor, start breaking them down, work on your base. Like, there's always gonna be opportunities for strikes. Get in a position to where you can strike and not worry about losing whatever it is that you're trying to defend to begin with. To ignore the threat and just start throwing random strikes, hoping that I'm gonna magically release. Like, if I got a good arm around your neck, I don't care what you do to me, I'm gonna hold on. Until it all of a sudden becomes like, okay, now I'm in a dilemma where if I don't hold on to the choke, or if I hold on to the choke, I'm in trouble. If I don't hold on to the choke, I lose the control. And that's where you as a defender wanna put me in. You wanna give me that dilemma of like, okay, I either have to let go or hope that I can put you to sleep before you finish breaking my leg or something.
Boss Rutan has a really good story about when he would let guys come to his gym and he's going to put them in rear naked choke and they can use their kung fu to get out of it. And he's like, I'll choke them and they'll start poking my eye. I close it, I just let them do it. And then I just choke them worse.
Yeah, it's really easy to avoid it. Then I hear like oh, you're going to bite. I'm going to tuck my chin. I love when people tuck their chin because I just crank right at it. Like the moment I feel their chin tuck, I take my other hand and go right across the top of it and just squeeze, and I'm gonna rip your jaw.
All you've done is just change what I'm doing.
Exactly. And that's what people don't like. People assume this. If you want to talk rear naked, like usually my sequence, if we're going from here, single first, twist my wrist, pull a little bit, keep my head pressure in, and now I've got a good single hand choke, right?
Yeah.
So follow up is going to be ideally, obviously, to go to the Hail Mary right here, or like this is the rear naked choke. If that fails, I come right back down to gable grip, and I'm just ripping back. Again, if he starts defending, tucking down, like, sure, right across the face, and either I can lift up and shoot the hand back in, or if I want to be a jerk, I just sit here, and I'm just going to squeeze everything. So again, if you're talking sport, it's not just like, okay, you got out of the choke, it's done. I'm immediately funneling it right into another, and I can sit there all day, because the only way you can avoid those is to get your hips out.
There you go, guys. All about rear naked chokes, how to apply them, why to apply them, difference between sport and self-defense, and you got a fun joke to tell at parties. David, I want to thank you for coming out and training with me. I really feel like I learned a lot. Again, David Heineman, Stay Safe Martial Arts. Give him a subscribe, show him some love, and don't forget, subscribe to Combat Self-Defense as well. I want to thank you guys for all the hard work. Thank you for the hard work yet to be done, and I'll see you next time.